Division II Football Championship presented on ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. That is the trophy these two teams are fighting for. Minnesota Duluth won 4 games last year. Now Bob Nielsen's team 14-0 going against a Northwest Missouri State team that has won 13 straight ball games and is back in this championship game for the 4th straight season. Minnesota Duluth with an impressive win on the road at Grand Valley in the quarterfinals, then equally impressive against California, Pennsylvania last week in the snow. Northwest Missouri State on its home field blew out North Alabama, who plays its home games on this field, 41-7. So we've gone from 24 teams in this championship playoff down to 2. Pam Ward along with Ray Bentley. And if you like good old-fashioned running the football, we have it for you. Some great running backs. Isaac Odom, the first year back for Duluth.
Boy, he's outstanding. He does a great job between the tackles. He does an excellent job of reading that zone play. He knows where his cuts are, and then he makes those cuts. He's also a pile mover, 215-pounder. He has power that's kind of surprising. He'll move that pile on, and then the other thing, the breakaway speed. When he gets a little bit of an opening, he can go the distance on any given play, just like he did right there.
He has run for over 1,500 yards this season, but the Bearcats can one-up that. LaRon Council has over 1,600 yards.
LaRon Council outstanding, too. He's a different kind of back. He's what I call a side hopper. He's a guy that can make you miss in the hole because he's got such great lateral quickness. You know, he's also got the extra strength to find the end zone. That's his, I think, best attribute. 35 touchdowns leading all of college football this year. He's got a nose for it, and he gets it done. It'll be fun to see him go today.
No one has scored more points than Mr. Council this year. Can he run them to their 3rd overall national championship? Minnesota Duluth trying to pull off the upset in the Bulldogs' first ever finals appearance. Kickoff just moments away. Championship game between Minnesota Duluth and Northwest Missouri State about to kick off here in Florence. Bob Nielsen, after a 4-year absence, back as the head coach of the Bulldogs just moments ago talking to his team.
You brought us here. Do your best today. Every play. Each and every one. You are champions. Make it happen today. Let's go.
And Coach Nielsen certainly has made it happen for the Bulldogs. They won only 4 games last season. And then Nielsen came in. He's been the athletic director exclusively for the last 4 years and is back now again as the head coach and has them in the championship game. Mel Churchma, for 15 years, has been on the sidelines at Northwest Missouri State. 2-time National Coach of the Year, the most wins of any coach in Division II playoff history. But he's got 3 straight losses in this title game. They want to erase that today. Northwest Missouri State is no stranger to success in Division II football. This is their 6th title game appearance. Minnesota Duluth, first time they have ever played in a championship in any sport in Division II, never mind football. And Northwest Missouri State with a couple of national championships that came in 1988 and 1999. They've lost the last 3 title games by a grand total of 12 points. It is blustery here in Florence, Alabama, about 41 degrees. We expect it to warm up to 50-ish. The wind right now at 11 miles per hour, but appears to be gusting a little bit stronger than that as we are about to get underway. Northwest Missouri State won the toss and they deferred, so Minnesota Duluth in their away whites will be receiving Northwest Missouri State like last week in their semifinal, sticking with the all-green uniforms.
And I think that wind will have an impact today, Pam. It's coming from the right to your left on the screen there, and especially in the kicking game. I don't know that it'll be as bad as it was last week in the game we did up in Maryville, Missouri, but it will affect the ball game today.
North Alabama falling in Maryville. They were down 20-0 in the first quarter and ended up losing 41-7. Northwest Missouri State in its 4th straight national championship game, kicking with the wind at their backs, and it goes about 8 yards deep in the end zone. Tommy Freevert really laid it out, and Northwest Missouri State goes on defense. Here comes Minnesota Duluth, Ted Schlafke, a 4-year starter, has had a tremendous season, the Offensive Player of the Year in the Northern Sun Conference, and has set all sorts of records for the Bulldogs.
And he is a dual threat kind of guy. What impressed me the most about him is his movement and presence in the pocket. Keeps plays alive, and then when he takes off and runs it, he's a threat to go himself.
He was their leading rusher last year with 500 yards. Now their third leading rusher, in part because number 31 in the backfield, Isaac Odom, has been tremendous. He has 9 100-yard games. Odom gets it on the first carry, goes over the left side, bounces for about a 3-yard gain. Willie Horn made the stop for the Bearcats. Impact players, we're looking on the defensive side today. For Northwest Missouri State, defensive end Sean Paddock has 6 sacks on the season. Ike Uramiki, a walk-on, had a terrific game last week against North Alabama. And then there's the free safety, one of the Spoop Hounds, Miles Burnsides.
Burnsides is the best safety I've seen throughout the season. And regardless of level, he is a ball player.
Went to Maryville High School in Missouri, home, which is where Northwest Missouri is. Screen pass completed to Odom. And Isaac Odom gets it up to the 35-yard line. They picked up 12 on that play. The top of your screen, right above the score, you see the starters for the Bulldogs scrolling across. They average 42 points per game. That is 4th in all of Division II football this season.
And to go back to those impact players, Pam, defense wins championships. That's a truism, not a cliche, and that's why we featured those guys. And it's going to come down to that side of the ball as far as who gets this one.
1st and 10, Odom gets it again and doesn't get very far. Wrapped up by Sean Paddock, one of the impact players we just showed you.
Boy, and Paddock beat Sam Whitney, the offensive tackle. He just knocks him right back. Here he is up here. Watch him knock the blocker back and then get off and then fill the hole for a 1 or 2 yard gain. That's how you play defensive end right there.
They credit it to a 2-yard gain. Paddock, a junior out of Bettendorf, Iowa. 2nd and 8. Odom, the lone tailback. Expect to see that all game long. Out of the gun, Schlafke gives it to Odom. So even out of the shotgun, they're running the football. He picked up about 3. So a 3rd and 5 coming up. Tyler Roach made the stop.
And the Bearcats went to a bear front, bringing an extra linebacker up to cover the tight end, putting 8 in the box, expecting that run. And that's going to really signal UMD to check to some passes when they see that front.
Minnesota Duluth has converted on 51% of its 3rd downs this season. That is 4th best in the country. They're facing now a 3rd and 5. 4 receivers in for Schlafke. The Bearcats rush 4. Schlafke with a man in his face completes it. A perfectly thrown ball to Luke Scalekamp. A senior from Fergus Falls, Minnesota, picked up a dozen.
Little high-low on the corner, but what it was man-to-man coverage for the Bearcats. So you're going to see the pressure doesn't get there, and that gives Schlafke the time, and he shows you pretty good arm. You know, doesn't have great arm strength, has a little bit of a weird short throwing motion, but he is very accurate with the pass.
Bob Nielsen, his head coach, says he is the smartest quarterback he's ever been around. A great compliment for Schlafke, who is completing 65% of his passes on the season. One more time, they give it to Odom. And the sophomore picks up 4 yards on 1st down. How did these two teams get here? Well, again, it's a 24-team playoff. Both of these teams had 1st-round byes, so they had to play 3 games to get to Florence. Shadman State went down in a great double overtime game at Grand Valley State, and a convincing win in the snow at California.
Yeah, I watched that Grand Valley game, Pam, and that was 2 heavyweights just trading blow for blow, a very physical football game. And to go into Allendale, Michigan and win in the playoffs, that says something about you.
Yep, Grand Valley's won 4 of the last 6 championships. That ball is tipped and intercepted. It was tipped by a Bearcat, went through the hands of a Bulldog, and Ryan Jones came up with it.
And Aldwin Foster Reddick got in front of it, getting in front of that route, tipping the football. Tony Doherty is the intended receiver. There's Reddick tipping it. Doherty tips it, and it falls right into the hands, and then it's double clutched by Ryan Jones. And you need those kind of bounces, and you need to make those kind of plays in big games like this.
Ryan Jones with his 3rd career interception. Stops the Duluth drive on the 31. Joel Osborne, very steady, almost has that one picked off. He was looking for Abe Quad, but Kyle Fechtelkotter got in the way of the pass. Joel Osborne, a senior from Harlan, Iowa, a terrific athlete in high school, won a state championship in just about every sport they had. 19-2 as their starter. LaRon Council taken down by Ben Loth. So Council, who has 35 touchdowns on the ground this year, picked up no gain on that carry. And there's the starting lineup for the Bearcats. They're seniors coming into this game with a 50-8 record, 3 national championship appearances now, their 4th in a row this year. And this Minnesota Duluth defense has been stout all season. Here's a 3rd and 10. Osborne trying to buy time, escapes one would-be sacker, goes downfield, and it goes right through the hands, thrown a little bit high. Tight end Greg Applegate had a chance to catch it, but could not. Jim Johnson, who is a terrific safety, he and Tyler Yelp, so good at the safety spots for Minnesota Duluth, was on the coverage.
And Osborne does an outstanding job of avoiding the rush. Got away from him. He got away from Kevin Pexa, and he throws a nice ball. Applegate's got to go up and make that catch. I think he heard footsteps. Jim Johnson, the safety, is a big one.
Oh, Michael Stadler almost had that one blocked. Fair catch at the 31 by Noah Pauley. 38-yard punt by Stadler. So the turnover ended up not hurting the Bulldogs of Minnesota Duluth. They have the ball when we come back to the championship game. Look at the Tennessee River. We are close by in Florence, Alabama. Northwest Missouri State and Minnesota Duluth scoreless in this national championship game. A ton of Bearcat fans have made the trip. 4 receivers now for Minnesota Duluth. Schlafke with Isaac Odom next to him. Odom gets the carry, and a terrific play by Sean Paddock. Blew that up and dropped him for a loss. Let's take a look at our Google map. Minnesota Duluth in northern Minnesota, about 137 miles north of the Twin Cities, or a couple of hours right there on the lake. You can do some skiing up there and a lot of stuff on the lake. Of course, in the summer, we were told that about an hour ago at least, they were below 0. Yeah. Fahrenheit, you know, thermometer temperature, not wind chill. So it is chilly. It feels warm here to these folks because it's about 40 degrees now. Schlafke finds his intended receiver, Tony Doherty. Doherty picks up about 7. Adam Vondrak, the linebacker, makes the stop for the Bearcats. Minnesota Duluth has been in business since 1895. They are back in the Northern Sun Conference. For 4 years, they were in the North Central Conference, which dissolved when a couple of teams left for the championship subdivision out of Division II. 3rd and 3. Schlafke hanging on to it himself. He's the 3rd leading rusher for this team, and niftily makes his way upfield for a 6-yard gain and a 1st down.
Niftily is exactly right, Pam. He kind of wends his way through the pressure. You're going to see he's going to have to move to his right a little bit. Good penetration there on the nose by Shane Shade, but if you give him just a little bit of a crack, Schlafke will find it and take advantage of it. He started against Northwest Missouri State. The only other time these 2 teams played, it was in a Division II playoff game a few years ago. Isaac Odom picks up 3. Shane Shade makes the stop. These 2 teams played in Maryville, and Northwest Missouri State won that game 45-41 with over 2,000 yards of offense. There were 6 touchdowns in the 3rd quarter alone. And you have two different kinds of teams here today, though. These teams are predicated on defense. Even though their offenses are really good, defense is what's going to get them done today.
Brad Foss, number 5, has spelled Odom in the backfield on 2nd and 7. Foss gets it, goes up the left sideline, and up the left side, rather. It is into Bearcat territory, picked up 5 yards.
The Minnesota Duluth keeps hammering it on their left side behind Nate Byer and Sam Whitney, and I don't know if that's good thinking there, because they keep running into Sean Paddock and Shane Shade over on that side. I think they're going to make an adjustment and start running the ball more to the right, because they haven't gotten a lot over there on that left side yet.
Facing a 3rd and 2, Foss still in the backfield. They are 2 for 2 today on 3rd down so far. And they're going to throw for it. Schlafke throws a strike for the 1st down to Tony Doherty. So this very good running team crosses them up a little bit with a short pass in the 1st down.
And this is an all-out blitz coming from the Bearcats. They're bringing that blitz up the middle. But the problem is out on the corner. You see, there's the blitz. You got a couple of linebackers, Vondrick and Horn, coming in. But the corner over there, Ryan Jones, gave too big of a cushion to Doherty. He just had to hitch it up in front of the sticks. And they do a nice job of knowing where the sticks are. Kurt Weezy, their offensive coordinator, said that's one of the strengths of my team.
Weezy, his 1st year in charge of the offense. Foss spinning for no gain. Foster Reddick, the strong safety, coming up to make the stop.
You know, safety blitz from the outside. Foster Reddick showed that he was going to double cover and then came in late and just totally beat the blocker with an inside move and blew it up for no gain. And we're seeing a lot of pressure out of Scott Bostwick's defense today. He said he might have to blitz more on early downs against this group to help out against the run, and so far that's what he's done.
2nd and 10. Schlafke has a lot of liberty to change the play at the line. Another pass completed right on the mark to DJ Winfield. A true freshman picks up the first, or excuse me, is about 4 or 5 yards short of the 1st down. That's his first catch of the day.
Good read by Schlafke, because you're going to get a bail. You see how Ryan Jones was pressing the receiver Winfield, and then he bailed at the last second, and that's what opened up that little hitch route for a nice quick pickup of 6 yards to get him into a manageable 3rd and 4.
Coach Bostwick and his
red hat,
his signature red hat, and there's Mo Dampier, number 74, the big guy, playing on the defensive line. Minnesota Duluth 3 for 3 on 3rd downs. Schlafke has to buy time. He can take off. But terrific coverage by Northwest Missouri State. They eventually get him down. Evan Wilmus was among those who contained Schlafke, who was dropped for a 4-yard loss.
And they're trying to set up a screen, which worked for him well on that first possession. But watch this thing. Right here, you got 3 linebackers that stop that screen, and they don't let Foss get open by any stretch. So Schlafke has to eat the football and ends up running sideways and getting stopped. Great defense by the Bearcats.
Alex Miller, a true freshman, has had 2 punts blocked this year, both of them in the playoffs. That gets underway and dies around the 13-yard line. Minnesota Duluth, with a couple of possessions, has moved the ball but has yet to score. Northwest Missouri with the ball when we return. That's a look at Duluth, Minnesota. They're expecting it to get up to 22 degrees today. Right now it's just fighting to get above 0. And Maryville, Missouri, about 31 degrees expected. That's the home of Northwest Missouri State. And you can tell those guys are Minnesotans, because 40 degrees to them is shirt sleeve weather or shirtless weather. But Ron Council gets a nice gain right up the gut. Picks up about 8 on 1st down. Impact players for this Minnesota Duluth defense. Jake Komnick, a linebacker in their 3-4 scheme, which you don't see a whole lot of in college these days. Jim Johnson, a terrific strong safety, had 2 interceptions in last week's semi, and his running mate is Tyler Yelp.
2 of the best safeties in Division II football in the same backfield together. It allows them a lot of leeway as far as making adjustments.
Under pressure and down. Joel Osborne sacked by Justin Timmersman as we go to the studio.
All right, Jonathan Coachman here in our ESPN studios. A busy day around all the family networks here on ESPN. Of course, over on ESPN, college basketball, number 8 Tennessee has their hands full at Temple. On ESPNU, Syracuse and Long Beach State. And, of course, right here, the Division II National Championship. Right now, back to Pam Ward in Florence, Alabama.
Thank you very much. We are scoreless here in the first quarter of this championship game. Osborne, who was just sacked, just gets it off. First down, picked up by LaRon Council coming out of the backfield. Robbie Orich had some great pressure, but Osborne was able to get it away.
Orich on a late, kind of delayed blitz, and after the blocking had declared, there was nobody left to pick him up. He shot through there, hit Osborne, and he just got it away, finding a safety valve. Council for the first down.
Back to Council. This time with a fullback blocking for him. Ark makes another stop, 6 more yards for Council. And this Northwest Missouri offense is not necessarily complex, but it has a lot of different formations. You'll see them trying to do a lot of different things out of formations.
And a lot of times you'll get teams that will do the same things, but do a lot of different formations. These guys have a lot of different formations, and then you do a lot of different things out of them. Makes it real difficult for a defense to prepare.
They love going out of the no huddle, little play action. Osborne hit low, but got it off, and it's incomplete. Looking for Greg Applegate, his tight end. Mel Churchman, the head coach, says that his team is much better when they don't huddle and just go and throw the ball around.
Try to get a rhythm going, a little tempo going. As you see Coach Churchman, he signals in the plays, and then Adam Dorrell is the offensive coordinator, taking over for the first time this year and calling all the plays. And Coach Churchman says he signals them in because that way, if anyone messes it up, he knows who to blame.
He had called plays the last 2 seasons. Did the head coach. That one right by the first down marker. Abe Quad makes the catch in front of Cole Strilzik.
This is an outstanding job of Abe Quad knowing exactly where the sticks are. You see he's going to run up, and you see our yellow line gets a yard or 2 past it, because you're always going to come back to the football. So you don't run to the yard to make, you got to go past it, factoring in the fact that you are going to be drawn back to the ball to make the catch.
Quad considered to be one of the coaches on the field among his fellow receivers. You see everybody looking at their wristbands to pick up the play that's called out. Council up to the 46-yard line. Jim Johnson, the strong safety, one of the captains on this team, stopped him after a 6-yard gain. Johnson, not only a terrific football player, but an all-academic performer in the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference. Minnesota Duluth 10-0 in the conference and 14-0 overall this season. Quite a turnaround for a club that was 4-6 last year. 2nd and 4, Osborne. Back to Council. And a flag comes in. Council runs for the first down, pending the flag. Org with another stop.
And they're going to get a holding on Jeremy Davis. The right guard just mauled his man, ended up on top of him in a bear hug.
Holding 65 on the offense, 10 yards from the previous play, 2nd down.
James Serbo from our Northeast 10 Conference officiating crew. Bob Nielsen, the athletic director at Minnesota Duluth, coming back as a head coach, and this is the 2nd best turnaround for this Division II. You see Montana State went from 1-10 to 12-2, but a +8 so far in wins for Minnesota Duluth this season, getting out of the North Central Conference, which they thought toughened them up for this year. A blitz, no chance whatsoever for Osborne as he was snowed under by Timmersman and Lowe.
This is just a blown blocking assignment. You're going to see Jeremy Davis Right here, watch him. Here's the guy rushing on him there, Timmersman, and Davis just never gets outside. I think he was fooled by the lack of a blitz. He was expecting a blitz, got his eyes inside looking for that, and didn't pay enough attention to the man that was right on him.
Second time Osborne has been sacked today, brings up a 3rd and 20. More pressure. Osborne doesn't have a chance. The Bulldog defense has been doing it for him all season. They've been tremendous so far today. That time, Drew Fausch dropped him for a 3-yard loss.
And Ben Loth had the pressure from around the edge that forced him into the waiting arms of Fausch.
Second week in a row, Fausch has come up with a sack, timeout on the field, and a scoreless game. Coming up tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN, Sam Bradford, Colt McCoy, and Tim Tebow, the finalists for the Heisman Trophy. That presentation presented by Nissan. Then at 9 Eastern, the greatest game ever played, presented by Sprint, a modern airing with digital restoration and high-definition color. Looking forward to that tonight on ESPN.
You might wonder why Northwest Missouri took that timeout. They wanted to punt with the wind, and it benefited them.
Michael Stadler gets it off. Pauly falls on it. They're marking it at the 13-yard line. That was a 60-yard punt for Stadler. Helps to have the wind at your back. You deserve to smile. Second quarter coming up. Second quarter about to get underway in the Division II National Championship game. A little Bearcat fan watching this scoreless game. Really not surprising that it's scoreless with these defenses.
Now, this is not the next go-round. This is the last go-round for these two teams, and they both have great defenses.
Minnesota Duluth in the white. Ted Schlafke, their great quarterback, with the throw just out of the reach of true freshman DJ Winfield, who had split a couple of defenders downfield.
And Ted Schlafke, I'm telling you, would want to have this one back because Winfield is open there and the safety got caught up to the line. So all he has to do is maybe put a little more touch on this ball. That's a strong arm throw, as I've seen Schlafke make. You know, what a time to overthrow a football.
That was 6 if he could have put it right on the numbers. This is a kid, Schlafke, who has completed 65% of his passes this season. He's 5 for 7 with an interception today, but it was on a batted ball. Isaac Odom, right up the middle, picked up 5 yards. Tyler Roach with the stop. Ted Schlafke, a senior from Stevens Point, Wisconsin, a 4-year starter, was a Harlan Hill quarterfinalist. That is, in effect, the Heisman Trophy for Division II. These are among his records.
Well, the thing that blows me away, 47th consecutive start that he's making today. You talk about a coach on the field. In fact, Bob Nielsen told us he could call all the plays. You know, sometimes we get in his way.
Smartest quarterback he's ever been around, according to head coach Bob Nielsen. Schlafke facing a 3rd and 4. Bearcats only rush 3, gives Schlafke time to throw one out in the flat, but terrific tackling on Isaac Odom. Willie Horn, Joe Horn's little brother, made the stop.
And great discipline by Willie Horn, because a lot of times you see a quarterback looking the other way, you're going to drift that way. But he knew he had Odom. He had the responsibility for the back, sneaking out on the backside, kept his shoulder square, kept his leverage, and then exploded on the ball and came up and made a good tackle.
Alex Miller, for the first time, kicking with the win. Northwest Missouri sends 8 guys. They don't get to the punt. Kendall Wright retreats and has some space. Wright exciting the Bearcat faithful. Good field position up to the 43-yard line. That was a 46-yard punt by Miller, the true freshman. When we come back, we're going to talk to one of the all-time greats in Division II and the NFL as well, Rod Smith, the new Hall of Famer.
Red or black? when you want to get away.
Both.
And Verizon Wireless.
And Campbell's Chunky, official soup and chili sponsor of the NFL.
There was a big banquet last night. The Harlan Hill Award for the best player in Division II was handed out, and this man, Rod Smith, signing a lot of autographs. He was inducted into the Division II Hall of Fame. He had a terrific career at Missouri Southern State University, and he joins us now. First off, Rod, congratulations. That must be quite an honor.
Oh, it was amazing. You know, the people here have been great for me. I've been hanging out, eating a lot of food, just really enjoying retirement and really getting to see a good football game right now.
Some good Southern food. LaRon Council gets the carry and picks up about 7 yards.
Hey, Rod, can you take me back to maybe some of your favorite memories from your college career?
Man, you know what? It was everything about college, man. It's just amazing. When you play at a small school, you're riding the bus to games. We don't have all the budgets like all the other teams. The guys out here playing with their hearts, man. That's why I love being out here watching these guys really exploring their chances to take it to the next level. And they're going for a championship. Northwest plays against them several times, and these guys are here their 4th time, and they're trying to make it happen this time.
Ron Council running for the first down. So you went to Missouri Southern State, Rod. You were an incredible athlete, obviously, but I'm looking at this. You got 3 degrees, economics and finance, business, and then marketing and management.
Oh,
so
yeah, I was the ultimate nerd. I told you I was the ultimate nerd. I just have to be a pretty good football player, too. And that's what it is when you're in school, in a small school, they take roll. You know what I'm saying? They make sure you're in class, and I didn't definitely want to blow my chances. They gave me a scholarship, and I wanted to give them everything I had. Oh, big play right there.
That was big, Rod. Completing it to Josh Gannon, his tight end, picked up 15 yards and the first down. Who else was recruiting you out of high school, Rod?
Not the people I wanted to. So I can say that. You know, I've always, I grew up in Arkansas, so I always wanted to be a Razorback, and didn't get any calls. And I said, you know what, I go where I can and just make the best of it. And end up going to Missouri Southern, Joplin, Missouri, and it's been, honestly, it's been amazing to me. Had our athletic director at the banquet last night, Sally Beard, and Coach Korn. These guys are all supported me throughout my career. And my late coach, John Lance, really taught me how to grow up and be a man.
And Rod, what about right now? You know, you mentioned enjoying retirement. What are you up to these days?
You know what, man? I'm actually in the healthy coffee business. It's kind of crazy. I know y'all don't know what healthy coffee is, but Rod Smith at vmdirect.com, and email me, and I'll tell you all about it. But it's been great. I do what I want, man. I'm 38 years old. I'm retired. I don't need any money, but I'm having some amazing times with my friends right now. You know, getting to spend a lot of time with my kids, and that's what it's about.
And you were undrafted, so not only were you didn't get Division I offers, nobody drafted you coming out of college, and you're the most successful undrafted receiver in the history of the NFL.
That proves how that system is flawed. I don't like drafted players. I only like the undrafted guys because we work a little bit harder. But you know what? It is what it is. Sometimes people fall through the cracks, and like I told the guys who was up for the Harlan Hill last night, one thing they can't take away from you is this. They can't take your heart away from you. I play with my heart, and Coach Shanahan and his staff gave me a chance, and I just never looked back.
And you certainly did a lot with it, Rod. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Congratulations on a great career.
Congratulations,
I appreciate it. It's about to look like they're about to get some points on the board here.
That's it. Since you started talking and moving the ball.
I know. They might want to pay me, huh? I don't have a job.
All right, Rod. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Well, and really, he is the epitome of a Division II football player success story. A great businessman as well. And out of Little Missouri Southern, went to the Broncos, won some Super Bowls, and was a terrific wide receiver and a great guy as well. LaRon Council with the carry, picked up 1. While we were talking to Rod Smith, we saw Nick Rhodes with a big catch, and Northwest moving the ball.
Yeah, and you're in an area of the field now where UMD is going to start blitzing. This is the area where they turn it loose a lot more. They play some zero coverage, which means no free safety in the middle. And a perfect example on that last play, Jim Johnson, the strong safety, came up, blitzes off the edge, and catches Council for a 1-yard gain.
2nd and 9. Kendall Wright, the wide receiver.
Ball came out.
He got it, and then the ball came loose, and it's a turnover. So Minnesota Duluth gets the football back just when you thought Northwest Missouri was going to score. Jim Kuntz coming up with it. And
Jim Johnson knocking it out of there. And Johnson, 6'3", 220. He hit Kendall Wright, who's only 5'11". They say 175. I don't think he's that big. Coach says about 160. And just outstrengthed him and pulled the ball out.
Question is, were his knees down when the ball came out?
Close.
Very close, but it looked like the ball was out right before. We do have replay officials at this game. Al Ford from the SEC is up there, but
he seems to be satisfied.
Yep, here goes the snap. Brad Foss dropped in the backfield. Big penetration by big old Sean Paddock, who's made a couple of big plays already today.
And Sean Paddock is just having a field day with Sam Whitney right now. Whitney can't seem to block him. Here he is right here. You're going to see him just an inside move, just a little rip across the face, overpowers Whitney, and then gets the play in the backfield. And that's his 4th tackle on the day.
First team all-conference, Sean Paddock. Brings up 2nd and 12 for the Bulldogs. Schlafke throws it a long way. What a monstrous hit. Noah Pauley hung on to the football even though Evan Wilmus pounded him.
Great break on the ball by Evan Wilmus. And Schlafke kind of led his receiver, Noah Pauley, into the hit. Listen to this one. Oh, sounds like a minor car crash.
Evan Wilmus, he's another spoof hound. Went to Maryville High School, the home of Maryville, Missouri, where Northwest Missouri is located. The spoof hound is their very unique mascot, and they are quite proud of it.
You love you some spoof hounds, don't
I
you?
know, and the people in Maryville love their spoof hounds, as they should. 3rd and 3 after the big hit by the spoof hound. Wilmus coming on the blitz. This time Schlafke gets hit, but he gets it off. Oh, just through the hands of DJ Winfield. Sean Paddock with another hit on Schlafke.
And this is another one that is just overthrown. That's twice now that Schlafke has overthrown his receiver by just a hair. And I think the wind probably, he's throwing with the wind on both of those. And I think he's got to kind of take that maybe into consideration, because I think the wind maybe lifted that thing just out of the reach of DJ Winfield.
Alex Miller had a 46-yard punt last time because it's with the wind. Just got that one away cleanly. Kendall Wright, who fumbled when he got the ball on a rush a few moments ago, loses the ball again. Kendall Wright with the 2 fumbles the last 2 times he's touched the ball, but that time Northwest Missouri fell on it. Forrest Clements knocked the ball loose for the Bulldogs.
Wright did not see Clements coming from behind him. Heads up play by Forrest, knocking that ball loose.
That was a 47-yard punt for Miller. We are still scoreless in the Division II championship game. Kendall Wright with a couple of fumbles. That one was the turnover.
This Cobalt XFE gets an EPA estimated 37 miles to the gallon highway.
Palmer will be there. Todd McShay talking about some of the guys we might see in the NFL next season. Bowl Mania coming your way tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN. 34 bowls heading your way.
Hate to be that 34th one.
Yeah, that would not be good. Ron Council slips away from one tackler and makes something out of nothing. Council spinning his way for a 4-yard gain.
And he avoided the safety blitz again from Jim Johnson, and that's what Council does so well, is he maintains his balance and he keeps fighting. Here, Johnson hits him right there, a yard deep, but he keeps it alive, spins, gets the hand down, and he ends up with 4 yards after getting hit 4 yards deep in the backfield. That's a pretty good back right there.
Played behind Xavier Oman the last couple of years, who was a terrific runner for the Bearcats. Oh boy, Osborne getting out of the way of the blitz of Kyle Fechtelkotter. Fechtelkotter, a first-year starter for this Duluth defense. The Northwest Missouri offense had been 17 for 17 in the red zone in the playoffs until Kendall Wright's fumble the last time down the field. So that broke that string.
Excuse me, Pam, and 13 of those 17 were touchdowns. And that's, you're wondering how you move on in the playoffs. When you get a chance, you take advantage of it. And that's what they had done until that last one.
And you figure they're not going to get a lot of opportunities against this Bulldog defense. That ball is thrown high and intercepted. Tipped right into the hands of Jake Komnick. And Komnick, the linebacker, has it in Northwest Missouri territory.
Oh, and I think Brandon Wood got away with one there. I think he hit Raphael Robinson before the ball got there, but the officials didn't throw the flag, and it turns into a turnover, a takeaway for the Bulldogs. Here's the end of it. Watch this play, and you tell me. Oh, that was so close. You know, I'm going to take it back. I'm going to backtrack. I think it was pretty good timing. The fans here don't like it.
They're taking a look at it. One of the big screens at the end zone. Komnick's second interception of the season, the senior from Proctor, Minnesota.
Halfback pass.
And that pass by Winfield, the wide receiver, trying to go back to Schlafke, but it was incomplete.
And that was desperation. That wasn't intended to go back to Schlafke. But watch it up here, and the job that the safety, or excuse me, the corner Ryan Jones does of jamming the receiver. He does not let him get off at all, and there's just nowhere to go with that football. And Winfield wisely just kind of threw it away rather than eating it.
Second and 10. Going back to the bread and butter of Isaac Odom, and he doesn't get much. Let's go back to the studio and Jonathan Coachman.
All right, Pam, big upset in the works over on ESPN. Number 8, Tennessee and Temple, and it's Deontay Christmas with the big 3. He's got 32. Temple up 20. Under 6 to play. Back to Pam.
Tough place to play in Philadelphia. Thanks, Jonathan. Here it's 3rd and 10 for the Bulldogs of Minnesota Duluth. 14-0 on the season. Schlafke has everybody covered. Finally got rid of it. A man came free, but Isaac Odom, his tailback, had to slide down and couldn't bring it in.
Odom fought his way to get open, I'll tell you that. Tyler Roach was the guy who actually had coverage on him. He bails out late, and Odom ran Roach right over. And maybe he was just recovering from that collision is why he didn't catch the ball.
Alex Miller in again to punt, so they waste that good field position starting on the 48 of Northwest Missouri. Kendall Wright, who has fumbled the last 2 times he's touched the football, is back for the Bearcats. Short punt. Wright picks it up on the hop and lost the ball again. It squirted out. Northwest Missouri hangs on to it. Cole Strelsick came in with the hit. That was a 33-yard punt and a -4 return for Wright, who's having trouble, little butterfingers.
Somebody better get a hold of him and get his confidence back.
We are scoreless in the Division II championship game. Today's Game Track brought to you by Coke Zero. Not a lot of numbers. You see a lot of goose eggs up there. There are the numbers for Ted Schlafke, the terrific quarterback for Minnesota Duluth. Northwest Missouri State 0 for 1 in the red zone. We've had 3 combined turnovers. Northwest Missouri State has turned the ball over the last 2 times it's touched the ball. Kendall Wright, one of those turnovers with a lost fumble. Ron Council, the tailback with over 1,600 yards rushing this season, gets it up close to the 20. Riley Lalos made the stop.
There's Kendall Wright coming back onto the field, and Coach Churchman got a hold of him. I mentioned as we went to break, someone's got to get in his head and give him some confidence back. When you fumble the ball 3 consecutive touches, you're shattered at that point, but you got to stop the bleeding, and that's what Mel tried to do.
Such a calm head coach over on the sidelines. His players and assistants swear by Mel Churchman. Council makes his way past the first down marker. So we have the 3 fumbles by Kendall Wright, only and one of them was lost. Joel Osborne threw an interception on their last possession, and that broke a string of 190 straight passes thrown by Osborne without a pick.
And I think the Bearcats have to keep running Council and then mix in some play-action pass. Council, he's got 10 carries, 57 yards right now. He's the only one really doing anything with the ball.
Little play action as you prescribe, but the blitz comes. Third sack of the day for the Bulldogs. Kyle Fechtelkotter, number 33, with a 9-yard loss.
Boy, and they just brought the house. They brought a guy off the edge and the linebacker. Here you're going to see one coming here and one coming here. And Reed Kirby, the offensive tackle, he's so confused that he don't block anybody. Should I get the inside guy or the outside guy? He let them both go, waved at them both on the way by.
Minnesota Duluth with a school record 43 sacks coming into this game. Now up to 46 sacks on the season. Osborne facing a 2nd and 19. Goes to the far sideline where it's completed to Abe Quad. Picked up a 13-yard gain on his 2nd catch of the day. And there are the sacks. Make it 4 now for Minnesota Duluth.
Boy, and Abe Quad is quite a story, Pam. Almost perished in a fire a couple years ago and had to jump out of a 3rd-story window as the flames were licking at him, suffered terrible burns, and his ability to come back from that has just been nothing short of amazing. Had
skin grabs the whole 9 yards. And a good pass. You could see that receiver breaking free. Brian Shannon. 16-yard gain, and the ball's loose again.
That came out after he hit the ground.
Robbie Orr came up with it. Or at least had the hit for Minnesota Duluth, and now these officials going to talk about it. It did appear that he was down from up here.
No doubt about it. And they're going to have to review that one. We'll take a look at it ourselves, and here's Shannon. He's got the ball. He gets whacked pretty good, but the ball doesn't come out, really, in my opinion, until he hits the ground. And
the previous play is under review.
It's hard to see from that last angle we showed you, but from the original angle of the play, it looked to me like he had it until he hit the ground.
Jim Johnson, the strong safety, came up with the football. Shannon made a good catch, had to twist his body backwards to get the ball.
Here you see he's got it. He's putting it away. There comes the big hit from Orich. And it looks to me like the thing came out as he hit the ground. Oh, that's a big hit, though. And these guys are flying around and hitting each other. There's no doubt about that.
Orich with the big hit. There has to be enough evidence to overturn the call on the field, which is that it was a fumble, and you really don't get a good look from any of those angles. Nothing definitive.
Yeah, it looked like on that last one, he couldn't see the ball, and I think it's because it was tucked into his abdomen.
So I don't know about enough evidence to overturn it. You see Bob Nielsen saying, let's go.
Yeah.
he did the old finger circle. The athletic director coming back. He had been the head coach at Minnesota Duluth from 1999 to 2003, the best winning percentage in school history, and then came back to replace Bubba Schweigert, who has moved on to become a defensive coordinator at Southern Illinois. And boy, what a turnaround. Best turnaround in Division II playoff in Division II history, going from 4-6 all the way to 14-0.
And he had a plan. You know, he felt like they had just thrown the football too much. And in the northern climate, that's a tough one to do late in the year. And to be a playoff team, you had to have a better balance, a better mix. And that's what he's gotten to. You know, last year they threw the ball 46 times a game. And this year they're down right around 30. So there's a 16 pass play decrease from the previous season, so you can see the impact he had on the play calling and the way they manage a football game and the way they run the ball more now, not only to eat up the possession, but also to take that, you know, they used to say 2 bad things can happen when you throw the football, right? An interception or an incompletion. And he kind of prescribed to that a little bit and kept it on the ground more.
After review,
here we go.
The player was down prior to the ball coming loose. We will now measure to see if it is a first down.
They're going to measure, but the official just picked the ball up and moved it. He picked it right up and moved it. I don't know how you're going to get a good measurement now. He's just guessing as far as where he puts it.
Of the completed pass was beyond the line of gain. It is first down, Northwest Missouri State.
That's a good way to save your bacon right there.
Well, it was easily a first down from where the ball was caught by Brian Shannon.
Yeah, and I think Al Ford from the SEC conference running the replay made the right call there.
Northwest Missouri State fans certainly agree. They have come here to Florence, Alabama in force. Council finds some running room on the left side, picks up the first down into Bulldog territory at the 44, picked up 13.
Great job of blocking by Tom Pestock, the big left guard. Watch him, see him come take the linebacker, Orich on, and Orich can't get off of that big behemoth. Pestock at 6'6", 300 pounds. He just swallowed him up.
Big left side of that line. Reed Kirby at 6'4", 300. Matt Nelson, a very good center as well for the Bearcats. 70 yards for Council already today. Osborne completes it to Rhodes, who is taken down by Forrest Clements. That's a 6-yard gain for the Bearcats.
And I like the play call there by Adam Dorrell, mixing in some three-step, some quick game stuff. And you just need to get that defense on their heels a little bit. You run the ball with Council, then you throw it out quick. You get them moving up a little bit, and then maybe you can hit them over the head or over top of the head with a play-action pass.
So many variations to this Bearcat offense. Osborne under pressure, flag is down, should be a hold against Northwest Missouri. Osborne runs for the first down. The Bearcat fans want a late hit call, and they do not get a flag.
Yeah, they did get the late hit. The lobbying by Churchman got that one.
NCAA Division I Football Championship concludes on ESPN2 HD Friday, December 19th at 8 Eastern for a preview of every NCAA National Championship, including the 2008 NCAA Division I Football Championship. Go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships.
Looks like they picked up the other flag that was in the offensive backfield.
Getting word that it was a face mask call. It was a personal foul.
Boy, what a break for the Bearcats, and the Bulldogs are furious over there. You see Coach Nielsen saying, well, what's going on here? Because there was a flag in the offensive backfield, which in most counts, that's usually a holding call. That one got ignored, picked up, and then they tacked on a late call for the hit out of bounds. Things did not go the way of UMD on that exchange.
First down at the 12. Quite a turn of events for Northwest Missouri State. Looked like it was going to be a hold against them. The ball's on the ground. Osborne is able to cover it up, but he lost a couple of 2-3 yards on that one. Let's go back to the play, the personal foul penalty.
Well, here's your guys battling right up here. You got Reed Kirby, and he's working on Ben Loth, and you see the hand to the face, and so it was on UMD, so that's why they picked it up. So I guess.
Well, I don't think they called a personal foul at the end of the play. That was the play they called originally, because I did not see a flag come in on the sideline. But regardless, that was the penalty, the hands to the face. Osborne into the end zone, threw it late. Oh, he had Nick Rhodes, but Forrest Clements was able to get over there and put his hands on it.
Oh boy, I tell you, Forrest Clements should have had that. That'd have been a huge interception. He might have taken that 100 yards the other way. A dangerous throw late by Osborne. Here's your receiver and here's your defender. Osborne's going to sneak through there and throw that thing late in a wobbler. He needed to throw that one high and outside to keep it away from Clements. The Bearcats dodged the bullet there.
3rd and 12. Osborne trying to buy time. And he fumbles, picks it up again. The Bulldogs in pursuit. Drew Fausch knocking it away. But for the second time in this possession, Osborne has recovered his own fumble.
And Osborne got greedy. He had a man out in the flat. All he had to do was dump it out or just throw it out of bounds. He's out of the pocket. Here he's getting chased out of the pocket. Now he can throw it wherever he wants. Throw it away, young man, and then come in and kick that field goal. Now it's going to be a much longer field goal. He was fortunate to get it back.
They lost 11 yards on that play. Tommy Freevert from 42 yards into the wind, which appears to have died down a little bit. And Tommy Freevert misses it. Freevert had made 7 straight field goals over his last 6 games, and that's where that losing 11 yards just killed him.
Oh, it really killed him, and the Bearcats missed that chance to get on the board, and we're still scoreless here late in the second.
Tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN, one college football player will transcend greatness and become a legend by winning the Heisman Trophy. That presentation presented by Nissan. Then at 9 Eastern, the greatest game ever played presented by Sprint. It has been digitally restored in high definition. The Colts and the Giants. See that tonight on ESPN HD. And Mel Churchman, I'm sure, is TiVoing that. He loves Johnny U.
Big Johnny U fan. Said that was one of the first games he ever saw on TV back in the late 50s. Up on the farm, and immediately became a Johnny U fan.
Yeah, Mel Churchman growing up on the family farm in South Dakota. Big Colts fan. First down for for Minnesota Duluth in a scoreless game. DJ Winfield, the wide receiver, comes around to get a carry and picks up about 8 yards. There's Mel Churchman. We had a good visit with him when we were on campus last week. Such a calm guy. And what was it? His offensive coordinator, Adam Doral got to play for him and said meeting him for the first time was like meeting Santa Claus.
Yeah, said he put the spell on him.
Schlafke has to take off. He can run and proves it. Wisely goes out of bounds after picking up the first down and 8 yards.
Great coverage down the field by the Bearcats, and their linebackers got really deep, which is a good thing, except that when the quarterback breaks the pocket, now they've got that much farther to come up and close on him. One of the things that Scott Bostwick told us they might do is spy the quarterback, Schlafke, a little bit. And the guy they used to do that is number 22, Ike Uramiki, who is now in the ballgame.
Scott Bostwick, the defensive coordinator for Northwest Missouri.
There's Uramiki right there.
Very versatile player, came to Northwest on a track scholarship. And he is in the game now. Completion for the first down to Tony Doherty. Justin Welch on the coverage, but he picked up 11 yards. Northwest Missouri had hoped to have Brandon Clayton in the game, a hard luck senior who just continues to hurt one knee or the other, and he thought he would be able to give it a try today, but we haven't seen him out there. He has played.
Yeah, he was out there for one series earlier, but this is a 2-minute situation, and you're not going to put Clayton out there and put this kind of pressure on him in this situation, where you know they're going to throw the football and probably attack down the field.
All right, so he is out of the game, valiantly trying to play on a knee. He dislocated his right kneecap 2 weeks ago. Schlafke has time slip away, and then he slips away. Hit down close to another first down. Uramiki and Willie Horn on the pursuit.
Willie Horn missed him the first time. He wasn't going to miss him the second time. Chased him down. But how about the speed of Schlafke? When he gets out there, he can go.
27 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Willie Horn, the sophomore from Lee Summit, Missouri, the starting will linebacker for the Bearcats. And there's his brother. Many people will recognize Joe Horn, had such a good NFL career with the Saints and the Falcons, and has the opportunity to be a spectator today.
Cheering little brother on.
Minnesota Duluth took a timeout right before the break. We have 28 seconds to go in the half. First down for the Bulldogs on the 38. Schlafke throws it short and behind his intended receiver, Isaac Odom, out of the backfield. 23 seconds left.
Tyler Northway, even though they only rushed 3 guys, he ended up still pressuring Schlafke, and he was lobbying the official for a holding call. Felt like he had gotten wrapped up there by Sam Whitney. Northway, a very good edge rusher.
Second down. Schlafke with time and has a man open. Tony Doherty with the catch and the score. Nope, now they're going to say he's down at the 1, just outside of the goal line.
I think that's a touchdown. And what a throw by Schlafke. I mean, he hit Doherty in between the safety and the underneath drop man.
Timeout.
Here's the end of it, and you see he lands on top of the defender, Justin Welch, and you're still in. You're still up if you're not on the ground. And this should be reviewed and should be a touchdown, because nothing hits the ground until he is a good yard into the end zone. And our buddy Al Ford's up there looking at it, and I got to believe that Mr. Ford going to call this one a touchdown.
And that's why Minnesota Duluth took that timeout, to make sure that they had an opportunity to go over. And
I'm sure that was part of it.
Yep.
That and the fact that there's only 14 seconds left and a long play, you're going to lose some time to get lined up, and you know the clock would start as soon as those chains were set. But to me, this is a touchdown. And here's another look at the end here. And you see Justin Welch makes the hit, but Doherty never touches the ground.
After review, the player was down on top of the defensive player, never touched the ground, and rolled into the end zone. It's a touchdown, Minnesota Duluth.
Great explanation there from our buddy James Serbo.
This Northeast 10 conference crew, good job upstairs by Al Ford of the SEC to get it right. Credit Tony Doherty with a 38-yard touchdown catch. And the first score of the game comes with 14 seconds left to go in the half.
Yeah, you can see it's pretty obvious.
David Nadeau, a true freshman kicker, for the extra point.
Bearcats were offsides, but the kick is good, so it really won't matter.
Tony Doherty, a senior from Prior Lake, Minnesota, scored a touchdown last week and has one this week.
Offside, number 8 on the defense. The penalty declines. Point is good.
So Minnesota Duluth with that huge play to Doherty, who is an all-conference outfielder on the baseball team and a pretty good receiver as well.
Yeah, here's the route up here. Here's your receiver. He's just going to run down and then inside, and it's going to get right in front of Miles Burnsides, the safety. Right there you see Burnsides, and he overshot it. Burnsides with a bad angle. You seldom see him take a poor angle like that. And you see there's the ride by Welch. He stops on the other route, and that allows the little seam between the safety and the corner, and then a perfect strike. A line shot. Watch Schlafke just throw this one, or Schlafke, excuse me, a perfect throw, and then the touchdown at the end by Doherty.
There's Doherty on the sidelines. Also an all-academic performer in the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference, and that's a nice drive. It only took 1:03 to go 75 yards, and we've been impressed with Schlafke today. Very accurate passing.
And not only the passing, but on that drive, he kept it alive with a couple of scrambles, and that was huge on that drive for him to pull it down when there was nothing there, and then to move the chains a couple of times.
Minnesota Duluth 14-0 on the season. Last season they were 4-6, trying to put the icing on the cake of already what has been the biggest one-season turnaround in Division II history. Sheldon Cook now back to get the kick, goes into the end zone, and with 14 seconds left, the Bearcats have it on the 20 with 2 timeouts. Since 2001, the Bulldogs have been practically perfect when it comes to leading at the half. This will only be most likely a touchdown lead going in today.
Yeah, I can't imagine the Bearcats doing a whole lot here with just 14 seconds left. I would just take a knee from this field position. Don't even take a chance in handing it off and having something really horrible happen.
Ron Council right up the middle, picks up 4. Robbie Orich, who's had his hand in a couple of big plays today, with the stop. And that is indeed the last play of the first half. Northwest Missouri State has lost 3 straight national championship games. Tyler Schlafke and Minnesota Duluth have never been to a championship game before. We thought we'd get a defensive battle, and we have one. 7-0 Minnesota Duluth at the half. Let's go to Jonathan Coachman.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. 30 minutes down.
Welcome back to the NCAA Division II Football Championship, presented on ESPN by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. That's a look at downtown Florence, Alabama, just a few miles away. Braley Stadium, where that trophy will be handed out after one more half of football. Minnesota Duluth 14-0 on the season, leading Northwest Missouri State 7-0 at the half. Pam Ward, along with Ray Bentley. Minnesota Duluth, first time they've ever played in a championship game, and we expected a defensive struggle. So are you not surprised at this low-scoring game?
Not surprised a bit. Boy, they brought their defense down here with them, did the Bulldogs, and then Northwest Missouri State's playing some pretty good defense as well. Exactly what I expected. So we're going to see how these coaches at halftime were able to make some adjustments to go ahead and get some movement on offense. And speaking of coaching adjustments, it's time now for our Home Depot coaching adjustments, and these were made by a coach on the field, Ted Schlafke. Noticing that the linebackers were dropping deep, there was a void in the underneath coverage. He took off on a couple of scrambles. That moved him down the field, and then he hits his receiver, Tony Doherty, for this touchdown pass. The only points in the ball game, and most of it came because of the decisions by Ted Schlafke, a coach on the field, making those Home Depot coaching adjustments.
He calls many of the plays at the line for Bob Nielsen. That's his head coach on the right, a 4-year starter. Schlafke with so many Minnesota Duluth records, also high up with top 10 in 3 major offensive categories in Division II history. And there's Ted Schlafke, a terrific pass to Doherty after he did some improvisation. And it helped the Bulldogs, too, that Northwest Missouri State could not hold on to the football. They had 5 fumbles in the first half, did Northwest Missouri, but fortunately only lost 1 of them. The unfortunate part was it was right when they were getting down in scoring position. They also missed a field goal in that first half. And Kendall Wright fumbled the ball 3 times. He's getting ready to field a kickoff. He lost 1 of those 3 fumbles. He's back there with Sheldon Cook, waiting David Nadeau's kickoff. And they kick it to Cook instead of to Wright, who has been fumbling the ball, and Cook runs right into a Bulldog. Rob Huberty, a true freshman backup linebacker. Some mistakes in that first half.
Well, you mentioned the penalties, and there goes the first one from Wright. That's the one that was lost on the ensuing punt return. He lost that fumble, and then Joel Osborne making what I consider a bad mistake, not throwing that ball away, forced the 42-yard field goal, lost 11 yards on that play when he did fumble the football. That cost the Bearcats their opportunity for points.
So that was 3 points wasted on that 11-yard sack. Completion, they go right to Wright. The first offensive play of the half, 12 yards and the first down, perhaps trying to get his confidence up.
Yeah, I guess if you're going to be wrong, you might as well be right. You see the mistakes, Pam, today. The 5 fumbles lost, an interception, the 2 turnovers. Could have been a lot worse. They've had some fortuitous bounces, and they've scrambled to get on top of some fumbles. But they moved the ball pretty well, you know, with the Laurent Council on the ground. 12 carries, 75 yards in the first half.
Council over 1,600 yards on the season. Doesn't get anything on that carry, however. 35 rushing touchdowns for Council, leads the country. Tyler Johnson, there you see big number 96, coming up with a stop on Council.
And I love the way this Bulldog defense plays. They are a gutty group. They hustle to the football, and they get off of blocks extremely well. And they're backloaded. Those safeties, Johnson and Yelp, are outstanding.
Giving up fewer than 12 points per game on the season. Third best in all of Division II. Council slashes his way up for 7 more yards. Brandon Wood made the stop for the Bulldogs. John Steger is the defensive coordinator for Coach Nielsen, and there's the defensive ranks in Division II, and they are right up there, and doesn't get much better than that.
That top number, that 58.2 yards per game rushing, and a lot of that is they get early leads on people, and then they have to go to the throwing game. But much more of it is the stoutness with which they play in that front 7, and then they bring that extra safety into the box, and that's a huge weapon for them.
And they also have 47 sacks on the season, which counts against your rushing total. With the play clock winding down, Joel Osborne calls a timeout. We'll take one as well. Welcome back. This game is being brought to you in high definition. That is the home of William Christopher Handy, where he was born in Florence, November 16th, 1873. A terrific blues artist, wrote the St. Louis Blues and the Memphis Blues, and died in New York City in 1958. Drove by that little log cabin yesterday on the way to a fairly good barbecue place in Florence.
Humble beginnings.
Yes, W.C. Handy. First down carry for LaRon Council after the timeout.
Well, he just got a great block from his tight end, Josh Gannon. Just collapsed that whole side down. And that allowed LaRon Council to go ahead and do that sidestepping that he does so well, and then get it forward for the 2-yard gain in the first down.
Council with 86 rushing yards. So that's about 30 more that Duluth gives up during a game on average. Greg Applegate, the other tight end, gets 5 yards. Tyler Yelp coming up with the stop for Minnesota Duluth.
This Minnesota Duluth defense has done a nice job of really kind of holding Joel Osborne in check so far today. Osborne is a playmaker at that quarterback position, but they haven't really let him get loose and do anything thus far.
And we have not seen his backup, Blake Bowles, who usually comes in for a couple of series. More of a running threat. That should be a first down to Abe Quad, the junior from St. Louis. That's his 3rd catch of the afternoon. It is a first down. There's Bowles on the sideline, and usually they get him in. They have a predetermined plan to get him in the first half, and we didn't see him at all in the first half.
Yeah, I think it's just the nature, the tightness of this ball game. Maybe Coach Churchman just got a little nervous. Said, you know what, I'm going to stick with the senior who's gotten us here.
Bowles is a sophomore. About a 3-yard pickup that time for LaRon Council, the junior out of Kansas City, Missouri, and a kid with a terrific attitude. Grew up in the inner city in Kansas City, and all the coaches say his smile kind of lights up the room. Very positive kid, and he's really enjoying himself.
And he has been the best offensive player on the field today. Most consistent, in my opinion, and he's really outshone Isaac Odom on the other side. The talented Bulldog running back.
He has only 8 carries for 23 yards, Odom. Council faked 2, then they go up top, and it's intercepted. Osborne's thrown 2 interceptions today. That one to Cole Strelzik, and he's still going. Osborne got a piece of his shirt, but Strelzik takes it all the way down to the 30-yard line.
Well, we might be seeing Blake Bowles now after that. But Brian Shannon, the intended receiver, was not on the same page with Osborne. And it was Strelzik who actually ran the route. It was supposed to be a dig route, an inside route. And he didn't get that from his receiver, Brian Shannon. And here's Shannon right here, and he's supposed to run this dig route right into there. And that's where the ball is thrown. But you see, he never really gets in there. And a nice job of running the play, running the route by Cole Strolzik.
Second week in a row that Strolzik has come up with an interception. That one is just floated over the hand of Aldwin Foster Reddick. Got a little piece of it. They were looking for Tony Doherty.
Well, that one almost went back the other way.
Yep, that could have been a quick pick six. Osborne with a couple of interceptions today, had thrown 190 straight passes before he threw an interception. He's thrown 2 of them today, and look who is warming up.
You betcha. Time to go to the bullpen, see what the youngster can do.
Bowles warming up. Expect to see him in the next possession. 2nd and 10 for the Bulldogs from the 31. Odom picked up 6. Willie Horn, Joe's little brother, coming up to make the stop on Isaac, who has 9 100-yard rushing games this year. First-year transfer from Rochester Community College in the state of Minnesota.
And he's riding 7 consecutive 100-yard games.
And that is among the records, the single-season records that Odom has set this year, averaging 112 yards per game. 4 receivers in on 3rd and 4.
Quarterback draws are a play they like in this situation. And there's a hole in the middle.
And they do it. Schlafke stopped a couple of yards short of the first down by Adam Vondrak and Shane Shade. So a 4th and 2 at the 23-yard line. They have a true freshman kicker. The wind is at their back.
I think you go for it, and only because you have that true freshman kicker who is David Nadeau, who has been very inconsistent. And they've had problems with their snapper, and they moved Ted Schlafly back to hold, and all those things go into it. So you figure, you know what, for 2 yards, let's take a chance and really put this one away. And now Schlafly's going to take the timeout.
It would have been about a 40-yard field goal. Nadeau has hit from as far as 45, but as Ray mentioned, the young man, true freshman, pressure situation has been inconsistent, but Bob Nielsen's taking a timeout.
College football brought to you by Verizon Wireless and Campbell's Chunky, official soup and chili sponsor of the NFL.
That's a look at Helen Keller's home. She was born in 1880, just about 10 minutes from this stadium. Since 1954, Ivy Green has been a permanent shrine to Helen Keller. What a life she led. She was blind and deaf, and
amazing story.
Yeah, just one of the best, and one of the things you can do around here, around Florence, Alabama. Those folks are ready for Christmas, and they sure would like to celebrate with the title for Northwest Missouri. Right now, they want to stop because the Bulldogs are going for it on 4th and 2. Brad Foss is the tailback. Minnesota Duluth 3 for 3 on 4th downs last week. They throw for it and get it. Boy, Schlafke cool as can be to true freshman DJ Winfield.
And Winfield just beats his man across the field. It's Clayton who's got the coverage, but he's in an outside position, and he gets picked by the official. Actually, excuse me, it's Foster Reddick who's got the coverage, and it's man-to-man. They know it's man-to-man, so they run that underneath crossing route, and they run away from coverage, and Schlafke finds it.
Winfield was the Northern Sun Conference's newcomer of the year. Showing some of that talent today. Here's Isaac Odom, the talented running back who was an all-first teamer, picks up only a couple. Sean Paddock made the stop.
Sean Paddock has been nothing but dominant today. Anytime UMD tries to run to that left side, we hear you calling Sean Paddock's name on a tackle.
He had 4 unassisted tackles alone in the first half. And there's Scott Bostwick, the defensive coordinator for the Bearcats.
Changing to a nickel personnel group. A little late getting his guys on the field.
2nd and 7. Winfield, the wide receiver, picks up the first down. Stopped just outside of the 5-yard line. Winfield had 7 carries for 79 yards and a touchdown on the ground this year, and has become a potent weapon.
Yeah, and watch, these guys are late getting over here. And that's part of the confusion on the situation with the changing, the personnel group and the substitution. So Winfield, he just goes in motion and outruns everybody who was just a little late getting set and figuring out what they have to do.
First and goal on the 6. Isaac Odom, the tailback. They give it to him, and he goes down in the backfield. Great penetration by the men in green, and who's there first? Sean Paddock, number 97. Dropped him for a 2-yard loss.
Ducked inside the fullbacks.
7 tackles now for Paddock as Bob Nelson talks to his folks upstairs. More passes than we talked to the Minnesota Duluth's Kurt Weasley, the offensive coordinator, said he'd like to be about a 60-40 team.
He went as far as to say 70-30.
Right.
And I say, you go 70-30, that means you're ahead and pretty good. I figured it'd be more of a 60-40, and they're even under that in this ballgame.
Second and goal from the 7. Schlafke hits Pauly, and Noah Pauly is taken down at the 5, only picked up about 3 yards, so a third and goal coming up from the 5-yard line.
Anytime Minnesota Duluth gets into a critical situation, they love to run what I call China routes, where guys are coming from the outside and crossing underneath into the middle area. That's what they got that last 4th and 2 on. That's what they just got right there. But I'll tell you, that Willie Horn, he's a pretty good tackler. He didn't let him get anywhere. He grabbed Pauly and wrapped him right up.
Minnesota Duluth 3 for 8 on third downs today. This is a big one. Third and goal from the 5. 4 receivers in for the Bulldogs. Schlafke buying time. His fullback releases late, and he throws it to him in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. Isaac Odom got himself free, and Schlafke worked that side of the field to perfection.
Well, Paddock had the initial pressure, but Schlafke got away from him, and then he just played the linebacker, Willie Horn, like a drum out there. Horn was caught over a barrel. He either keeps going with Odom, or he's going to have to come up. You see, here he is, Horn coming up, 52 right there. Now he's got to come up and make the play, and that left Odom wide open behind him, and he caught him over a barrel and took advantage of it.
That's his 4th receiving touchdown of the season. Isaac has scored 25 of them on the ground. Nadu adds the extra point. And Minnesota Duluth, the team that won 4 games all of last year, 14-0 on the season, and they're up 14-0 in this game.
ESPN's college football, brought to you by Pontiac. Vote now for the Pontiac game-changing performance of the year at ESPN.com, keyword Pontiac. And Phillips Norelco. Phillips, sense and simplicity.
We are back. There's some guys fishing on the Tennessee River. It's not too cold for that?
I'm jealous. No, this is great fishing weather. I bet they're biting out there, too.
Oh, man, we got a good football game going on here. The Minnesota Duluth fans might get that Christmas wish. They're up 14-0. The Bulldogs with a couple of touchdown passes from Ted Schlafke, the senior from Stevens Point, Wisconsin. And he was terrific on that last drive, particularly with the touchdown pass to Isaac Odom, his running back. Northwest Missouri State down 2 touchdowns. Sheldon Cook fields the kick and is taken down before he hit the 20-yard line. Jim Johnson, the strong safety, 4th all-time career tackler at Minnesota Duluth, got in on the special team stop, and here is the change in quarterback, Blake Bowles.
And Blake Bowles is a different style of quarterback than what we've seen from Joel Osborne. He's more physical. They'll go to a lot of empty sets and let him just run the football, but he's also very accurate with his arm, and he's got the strongest arm Mel Churchman said he's ever had at Northwest Missouri State. This is a youngster with a real promising future, but the future is right now.
They got to do something. He is a sophomore. In for Osborne, the senior, who's thrown 2 interceptions. He ran into Ron Council as he rolled out, did Bowles, but there's the athleticism and the speed. Could have been a busted play, but instead he got very close to a first down.
Yeah, he is an exciting ball player, to say the least. Going to get a little ball fake right here, and he almost stumbles. He faked our cameraman out. That's how good he is, because we're pretty good up top with them cameras. And Bowles is just a threat to carry the football, and that's how they'll use him more often than not.
He did get the first down, running for 11 yards this time. A design play, and he is running right up the back of Jeremy Davis. He had his hand on his back and was like, "Going, big fella." And he's close to another first down.
And he gets it done, too, in terms of paying off drives. I mean, this is pretty amazing. 18 of 31 drives where he's taken over the helm have resulted in touchdowns. And in the playoffs, 4 out of the 6 drives that he's been at the helm have resulted in touchdowns.
Going right back to Bowles. On a second and short, picked up the first down. Jake Komnick, who has one of the 2 interceptions for Minnesota Duluth, made the tackle. Bowles has come in and he's moving the chains.
Yeah, I think they probably should have gone to this earlier, because you have to play an entirely different defense. You have 2 game plans coming in, because Bowles, it's a different offense when he gets in here. And now they've gone to him. They're moving the ball a little bit.
Council with the handoff. And LaRon gets a nice gain up around the 48-yard line. Ben Loth and Robbie Orich combine on the stop, but it's a 5-yard gain for LaRon.
And Bowles is kind of a rising tide that will lift all boats. I mean, he'll get everybody excited. All of a sudden, we're moving the ball, and the offensive linemen are thinking, hey, we got a chance now. And everybody gets just a little bit more pumped up when he gets in there.
2nd and 5, Bowles on the roll. Hits his tight end, Greg Applegate, who lost the football. He had the first down and then fumbled the ball away. Northwest Missouri State coughs it up again.
Well, what a play by Robbie Orich, coming from behind and snapping the football out from the backside. Just a heads-up play.
Drew Fausch came up with it for the Bulldogs.
Well, Fausch wanted to scoop and score. He saw about 60 yards of green in front of him. But here's the throw by Bowles, a perfect throw, had the first down, and there's Orich slapping the arm and knocking it out. And it was actually Forrest Clements who tried to pick it up and scoop and score. And then Fausch ends up on top of it.
Orich has forced 2 fumbles today, and that snuffs out what was looking like a promising Northwest drive. Brad Foss with the handoff. Northwest Missouri State has now turned the ball over 4 times today. They had only lost 17 all season coming into this game, and they have 4 of them today.
And that's the story in this ball game, because you look at it, Northwest Missouri State, they were driving down there, and then they fumbled the football, and all of a sudden it comes back the other way on them, and then a couple other drives were killed, including that last one, because of turnovers.
And look who's on the defensive line, number 74, Mo Dampier. The big man in for Northwest Missouri. Oh, what a big play. Auburn Foster Reddick got right up on DJ Winfield. And they need to keep fired up, and that play might do it.
And that's just a guy knowing his game. Oh, nice hit. Knowing his game plan. He jumps in there and just takes care of the business. Foster Reddick jumped to play, beat the block, and just planted DJ Winfield on his back.
Foster Reddick returned an interception for a touchdown in last year's championship game, and Northwest Missouri lost to Valdosta State. And he came up with another big defensive play on that one. 3rd and 8. Perfectly thrown pass that should have been caught by Noah Pauley. Boy, Schlafke put it in there perfectly. Ryan Jones was on the coverage.
That is perfect technique from Ryan Jones. He gets behind a little bit, so he hustles down. He sees the receiver reaching for the ball, so he turns his head around to look for the ball, and then sticks the hand out in between the receiver's hands to knock it away. That's perfect technique. You can't do it any better than that. In fact, that's how you coach it.
Well, that was a heck of a play, a great throw, but a better defensive play on the other end. Alex Miller's punt is away. Kendall Wright doesn't touch it, and the ball rolls dead inside the 9-yard line.
It's a good thing he didn't touch it.
Yeah, Wright's been fumbling a bit today. That was a 45-yard punt. Tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN, Matt Weiner is your host for Bowl Mania. All 34 bowl games will be ranked. Jesse Palmer is there, Todd McShay as well. Bowl Mania tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN. The #1 bowl, I'm guessing, will be the championship game.
BCS National
How about that, going out on a limb? I wonder what 34 will be.
Well, I'm doing the Motor City Bowl and the Independence Bowl. I'm hoping those are in the top 10.
Boy, you're one optimistic young man. Boy, Bowles lost the football, but he was already down as the ball squirted loose. It's been that kind of a day for Northwest Missouri State, and it's very opportunistic. You got to be so impressed with Minnesota Duluth, the team that won 4 games last year, coaching change coming in, new offense put in. They only have 24 scholarships as opposed to the 36, which is the Division II limit that Northwest Missouri hits. They only have 24 scholarship players, which is their conference mandate. It's amazing.
Yeah, they're not a real deep team, but their top line guys are top line.
Council goes down about a yard downfield. Robbie Orich with yet another stop, and the scholarships vary by division, as you might expect. The big boys in the bowl subdivision get 85. The championship subdivision, formerly 1A, 63, and then there's a big drop to Division II with the 36. But again, Minnesota Duluth in the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference only allows 24.
Right, it's a financial issue, and a lot of those scholarships are broken up. You get a half a ride.
4 receivers in. There's one of them. Bowles just throws it out of the reach of Nick Rhodes.
That's the first shot that the Bearcats have taken all day long, and I think that's been part of their problem as well. They haven't stretched this Bulldog defense whatsoever. They've allowed them to come up and play close to the line, and they haven't thrown it over their heads. And finally, they did take a shot, and maybe that'll help them down the line.
Michael Stadler is in only his 3rd punt since the first quarter. He hasn't had to punt because his team has been turning the ball over. That's a good one. High hanger that is fair caught by Noah Pauley at the 47-yard line of the Bulldogs. About a 39-yard punt. Tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN, one college football player is going to become a legend just like that. Sam Bradford, Colt McCoy, Tim Tebow, your Heisman Trophy finalists presented by Nissan, then followed at 9 Eastern, the greatest game ever played presented by Sprint. It has been digitally restored in high-definition color, the Colts and the Giants. That's going to be special.
I am looking forward to sitting down and watching that one.
Mel Churchman would love to watch that in a better mood than he is right now. He's a big Colts fan, big Johnny Unitas fan. And right now, his team in a 14-0 hole in the national championship game. Brad Foss with the carry, gets over midfield.
And Foss sometimes gets overlooked a little bit in this offense because Isaac Odom has really been more productive, but Foss is he's gone for over 900 yards this year, and he's a nice 1-2 punch in that backfield. He's more the guy they like to get on the perimeter. They like Odom in between the tackles, and then Foss will also line up in the slot like he is now, and he's an effective receiver.
It's a nice change of pace when Foss comes in for Odom. 2nd and 5. That was a wide open target. Boy, Winfield all by himself at the 40 for the first down.
Great job with the eyes by Ted Schlafke. He moved Willie Horn away from that slot receiver with his eyes and then came back quickly and stuck it in there on him.
Schlafke has shown so much poise and accuracy. Here's a kid who has had 3 offensive coordinators in his 4 years and 4 different styles of offenses. The spread, the run and shoot. This year, a more traditional offense because they have a run game. And he has adjusted through all of it. Noah Pauley with the catch, steps out of bounds at the 35-yard line, picked up 4 more.
And I was speaking with Bob Nielsen on the field before the game today, and he told me that Ted Schlafke is the smartest, not only quarterback, but football player that he's had in his 25 years in coaching. And they give him so much leeway as far as calling the plays. He said he'll call up to 65% of the plays during the course of the game, all come from Ted Schlafke.
As you might expect, he's also terrific in the classroom. He has made several all-academic teams. Foss again, right up the middle, picks up about 3 yards. Sean Paddock with the stop. The third quarter coming to a close, and this is Minnesota Duluth, boy, playing right to their strength. The 2-touchdown lead, and with a great run game, they can take a lot of time off the clock. Bob Nielsen's team, 15 minutes away, perhaps, from winning a national championship. Game in 2005, they lost to Grand Valley State 21-17. 1 year later, back again to take on Grand Valley, and this time it was 17-14 in favor of the Lakers. And last year it was Valdosta State. Northwest up 14-3 at the half, fell 25-20. 3 straight title game losses by a grand total of 12 points. And Mel Churchman earlier this week told us that he varied his routine a little bit, changed around some things so they didn't have as many obligations, and tried to vary it to change the outcome.
Yeah, he practiced on Sunday so that he'd have an extra day with his scout team back home, trying to find a way.
Foss lunges for the first down and keeps the clock going by not stepping out of bounds. They'll just stop it momentarily to reset the chains. This Minnesota Duluth defense has been good today.
Uh-oh. There's an understatement.
Yep, and this is a team that averages 42 points per game, Northwest Missouri, and on the other side, as we mentioned going to break, this is right up Bob Nielsen's alley, holding on to the football by running it.
Yeah, and they're going to try to eat up as much of this clock as they can while they have possession of the football and try to come up with a score in this drive and make it a 3-possession lead.
Schlafke snaps it with about 4 seconds left on the play clock. Flag is down in holding territory, and then he throws it out of bounds, pursued hotly by Tyler Roach and Sean Paddock.
And they're going to relieve the right guard, Matt Horvath, on a hold.
Second time we've seen that call today.
I saw a definite hold that almost tore the jersey off of Tyler Roach.
Only the 4th penalty called in this game. Good job by this Northeast 10 conference crew, keeping things rolling.
Personal foul, 15-yard face mask, 91 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Tyler Roach they got for that. You could tell that James Serbo is from New England.
Yeah, a little accent there.
Yeah, yeah. So
Tyler Roach was getting held. Now maybe he did reach back and grab the face mask, but you know, it's just one of those things where it goes the other way.
First down at the 15. Isaac Odom back in the game, gets the football and bowls his way to another first down. It'll be 1st and goal from the 4.
Well, he's so good in the hole. He can make you miss in the hole, and then he's got one of those stop-start gears where he puts the brakes on, hesitates just a little bit, and then when it opens up, bam, he's back up to full speed.
12 carries for 39 yards, but crucial yards, especially here in the 4th quarter. Right back to Odom, and he bowls his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Minnesota Duluth scores again.
Yeah, Miles Burnside put the hit on him, but he was able to push Burnside back just enough to break the plane.
So Odom has scored 2 touchdowns today, has caught a pass, and that is his 26th rushing touchdown of the season. Northwest Missouri State in a whole mess of trouble right now.
Yeah, they found a way for 13 straight weeks. They're going to have to dig a lot deeper to find a way to get back into this one.
Nadeau's extra point makes it 21-0 Minnesota Duluth. Isaac Odom has found the end zone a couple of times today, and he finds his team up by 3 touchdowns. There is one team that lost 4 straight football championship games. That might be Scott Norwood right there.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, that was in 1991 against the Giants. The next year, Washington beat Buffalo 37-24 at the Metrodome. Then it was Dallas's turn to nip the Bills 52-17. 1 year later at the Georgia Dome, it was 30-13. 4 straight Super Bowls for the Buffalo Bills. 4 straight losses. And my colleague Ray, you were part of what, 2 of them?
Yeah, the first 2. And I tell you, it hurts to this day. A lot of people will pat you on the back and say, oh, well, you know, you made it to the Super Bowl. You know what? It ain't about making it to the Super Bowl. It's about winning the Super Bowl. And maybe as I get older, I'll appreciate it and some of the bitterness will go away.
Yeah.
But I doubt it.
Yeah, it's hard just to watch those highlights, right? Just
yeah,
those clips.
and they're so ready and gleeful in the truck to show those
yeah,
things.
they've been sitting on that all season, big guy.
Thank you very little.
Short kickoff is taken by one of the up men. It's Brant Gregg, the fullback, who has not been involved in the offense at all today. And he takes it up around the 37-yard line. Northwest Missouri State could be and is well on its way to losing its 4th straight Division II championship game. And here's another note of infamy. You have to go back to 1997 for the last time that a team was held scoreless in this title game. New Haven out of Connecticut, shut out by Northern Colorado.
Ouch.
That was the Joe Glenn teams, I believe, back there at Northern Colorado.
Joel Osborne back in to try and mount a comeback.
He was spelled by Bowles in the last series, and he's going down. 6 quarterback sacks for the Bulldogs. Ben Loth has a couple of them.
And Ben Loth is a relentless pass rusher. I mean, he does a great job of coming off the edge. Here he is right here, and he's just going to keep working. And that's how he gets a lot of his stuff. You see, he's nowhere close. He's nowhere close. But he keeps working, and he finds a seam. And because he keeps after it, he makes the play.
Whole mess of trouble for Osborne. He was able to get rid of it before he went down. Pexa and Kuntz in that time on the pressure. There's the sacks. 6 of them by Minnesota Duluth. That gives them 49 for the season. By far a school record.
Just an outstanding job. John Steger, the defensive coordinator, he said he got this 3-4 look from Bubba Swigert, who was the defensive coordinator up in North Dakota when they played some great defense, and he kept it and tinkered with it, and it's been outstanding today.
3rd and 12. Osborne on the run like he has been all day. Floats one up. Almost a good catch by Greg Applegate. He was surrounded by about 4 Bulldogs down there. And the frustration showing.
We should do a count because it looks like UMD has about 13 or 14 guys out there on defense. I mean, they cover some ground. They're flying all over the place. You got 3, 4, 5 guys flushing the quarterback. You throw the ball down the field, there's 3, 4 guys there.
Joel Osborne would second your motion that there's got to be more than 11 out there. They have been amazing. Noah Pauley back with the fair catch inside the 10-yard line. Minnesota Duluth up 21-0 in the championship game. Has the football when we come back.
Red or black?
When you want to get away,
Both.
Enterprise will pick you up and get you going to romantic weekends. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Phillips Norelco Architect, the shaver with a flexible head that pivots and rotates freely. So now you can easily get a close shave, even on the neck.
A simple idea. Take America's hottest shows and put them all in HD. Dexter, Weeds, Californication, United States of Terror, Secret Diary of a Call Girl, The Tudors, Championship Boxing, Mixed Martial Arts, the biggest movies in 1080i high def and Dolby Digital 5.1 surround sound. Sounds good? Just wait till you see it.
Showtime HD is part of the complete Showtime package.
Single mom who couldn't make ends meet and fell behind on her payments. Or this couple who considered bankruptcy because of their debt.
Call American Debt Specialists now and you can reduce or eliminate your debt fast for good. You'll have one low month.
ESPN's College Football is presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll pick you up.
Part of the activities for the football players during the week to visit some schools. These are Minnesota Duluth, big guys. First, there's Jim Johnson, the captain, the strong safety, who's an all-academic performer, and the big guy, Tyler Johnson, an all-academic performer in education, reading to the kids.
I talked to Bob Nielsen about that before the game. He said, you know, the players were a little apprehensive about it, but once they got in there in the schools with the kids and they started interacting with them, they said it's the best thing they did all week.
And I think Tyler Johnson, particularly as an education major, must have had fun, and you had a good look at him on the sideline. He's got the eye black all over the place. He's all fired up.
Got the look.
Should be, because his team is up 3 touchdowns. And they have Isaac Odom in the backfield. Odom picking up a couple of yards. And there's Johnson in the eye black, and he's looking very Nordic and Viking looking with that red beard. Eric the Red look there for the big defensive lineman. Let's take a look at today's game track, brought to you by Coke Zero, and Northwest Missouri just not playing Northwest Missouri football today.
No, they've done a great job all year of protecting the football. They put it on the ground 6 times today, lost 2 of those, and then they've also had a couple of interceptions thrown, -3 on the turnover game. That's not good.
A lot of credit has to go to the Minnesota Duluth defense, which has been tough all season. Tough runner Isaac Odom goes right up the middle, stopped a couple of yards short of the first down. Minnesota Duluth in its first ever finals appearance for football, only their 3rd ever Division II playoff. They played Northwest Missouri in 2002 and lost 45-41 in the first round. And some of these players, these seniors, played in 2005 against North Dakota. They lost that game 23-12, so they didn't even win in these playoffs until this year. And here they are on the brink of a championship.
It's been a dream season for Bob Nielsen's group, and you know, he said one of the main things is they've stayed healthy this year, and they've got good first-line players, and keeping them healthy has been the key.
Especially important with only 24 scholarships. 3rd and 2. That pass is completed, and it is a first down. Chris LaFleur defending Luke Scalekamp, but another good example of these guys knowing exactly where the first down sticks are, and they hit them. This is the Division II championship presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Minnesota Duluth, number 6 in the country in the latest rankings, taking on Northwest Missouri State, a team that has made this trip to Florence for the 4th straight year. They lost the first 3 games by 12 points. This one not close. They're down by 21. Northwest Missouri did win a couple of titles in the 1990s under current head coach Mel Churchman. Odom getting outside of the tackle box for a change. Steps out of bounds, and turnovers have played a big part.
Well, it started out with Kendall Wright losing that one. Then the interception on the tip ball. Then another interception, and that one was a real key one right there. And then the forced fumble on the backside when Bowles came in and was leading them down the field a little bit. It's just been opportunistic football by the Bulldogs. They've earned these turnovers. They've been hitting hard, they've been hustling to the ball, and then they've had an awareness where they're knocking it out and getting their hands on it and making plays.
2nd and 2. Another first down picked up on the ground by Isaac Odom, who is proven to be just how valuable he is in the 4th quarter. Now up to 64 yards on 17 carries. So he is over Odom, over 1,600 yards on the season, just like his counterpart coming into the game, LaRon Council. 42 of those 64 yards on the ground have come after contact.
That's what he does. He's a pile mover, 6 foot, 215-pounder with great leg drive.
Northwest Missouri State with 2 timeouts left to go. On first down, Odom picks up perhaps a yard on that carry. Evan Wilmus with the stop. Coming into this game, we highlighted these 2 running backs, and rightly so. Odom with over 1,500 yards coming in, Council with over 1,600. So Council now with 1,700 yards on the season. What a tremendous year. Odom over 1,600 yards on the season. And Council winning in the average per carry, but
Council has been the best offensive player on the field other than Ted Schlafke. But the problem for the Bearcats is, and we've documented it, is just the turnovers. That's what's killed them today.
Osborne also took a very bad sack, lost 11 yards, that turned a field goal attempt into a 42-yarder that was no good when the game was still scoreless. That's a 4-yard carry on the keeper for the quarterback, Ted Schlafke. Schlafke coming into this game, as you look at Odom, Schlafke 4th in Division II history in total offense, 5th in passing yards, and 9th in touchdown passes. He has had a spectacular career as a 4-year starter. And here he is on the brink of a national championship.
A special player, a special kid to hang in there, in particular after the disappointment of the 4-6 season last year. But they came in and they changed the way they do things, balanced up this offense a lot better. And Schlafke bought into it big time.
He's completed 14 passes for 128 yards. That one is intercepted, though. Going back, Aldwin Foster-Rettig with the touchdown. Schlafke made a mistake, and Foster-Rettig made him pay for it.
And that's back-to-back years. Aldwin Foster-Rettig has had an interception, returned for a touchdown in the title game. That's what you call a big game player, and he just gambled on this. He guessed that it was going to be the hitch route, timed it up perfectly, stepped in front, and took it away. Look at him in his back pedal. He stuck it and broke, anticipating the route, and he knew if he got his hands on it, it was out the other end for 6.
Noah Pauley was the intended receiver. But Foster-Rettig takes it in. Northwest Missouri State on the board. Tommy Freevert adds the extra point. 2 years in a row now, Aldwin Foster-Rettig has intercepted a pass in the championship game and taken it back for a touchdown. His team lost last year, and they need a big comeback to avoid that this year.
Ruby Tuesday's handcrafted minis are bold on flavor and big on taste. Beef, turkey, and crab cake minis. Our new mini trio, 25 great burgers with endless fries, starting at $5.99. The new Ruby Tuesday, so good, it's guaranteed.
A Verizon phone. Thanks, honey.
There's more.
Oh, no way, a digital camera.
There's more.
A music player.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. A GPS with turn-by-turn directions?
There's more.
Verizon Wireless has the gifts that give more, like the LG Dare, chocolate-free, and now get the NV2 for $79.99. Verizon Wireless.
This Christmas, Bass Pro.
Coming up tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN, Matt Weiner's hosting Bowl Mania. All 34 bowl games will be ranked from 1 to 34. Jesse Palmer, Todd McShay will be contributing. Bowl Mania tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN. We've got ourselves the first score of the game for Northwest Missouri State. Aldwin Foster-Rettig taking back an interception 44 yards. So Northwest Missouri State avoids a possible shutout. They had not been shut out in now 82 straight games. You'd have to go all the way back to September of 2003 when they were shut out and their defense scores.
And with 8:04 left, I think it's too early to onside kick. Kick it deep and play defense.
They do just that with the wind at their back. Isaac Odom, the running back, collides into some guys and bowls them over. Stopped at the 28-yard line. Let's go to the studio now, Ryan Burr.
All right, thanks a lot, Pam. Checking out the ESPN family of networks. Great game over on ESPN. UMass and Kansas tied at 50 with 8 and some change to go there. On ESPNU, it is VCU and Richmond. It's a 1-point game on the U. And, of course, we've got the D2 championship game 21-7 in the fourth quarter. Pam?
Thank you, Ryan. MNDU, Minnesota Duluth is that abbreviation. And they are up 21-7 on Northwest Missouri State, and their fans are cheering, imploring their defense for a stop. Brad Foss takes somebody for a little bit of a ride. Evan Wilmus with the tackle. That's about a 7-yard gain on first down for the Bulldogs.
And if ever the Bearcats needed a 3-and-out, this is the situation. And Bob Nielsen, he's going to try and grind it out. Mel Churchman, his guys, they need to get him out.
And Minnesota Duluth had an interception on their last possession. Before that, they had scored touchdowns of 3 of their last 4 times they had the ball. 2nd and 3. Foss again, first down. Big hole over the left side, and he gets some insurance runs out to the 46. Foster Rettig and Miles Burnsides on the tackle.
And you saw Ted Schlafke, the quarterback, he was under center, and then he made the change to go to the shotgun. And that's also his call. That's not something he gets from the benches. This is something he decides by looking at the defense on what is a better run situation for him, under center or in the gun. He chose in the gun, and it was the right choice as Foss goes around the left side for the first down.
Foss is out, Isaac Odom in at running back. Odom gets it and immediately goes down in the arms of true freshman Chad Kilgore, the only true freshman playing this year for the Bearcats. NCAA Division I Football Championship concludes on ESPN2 HD Friday, December 19th at 8 Eastern. For a preview of this and every other NCAA National Championship game, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. And congratulations to the Montana Grizzlies with a big win at James Madison last night. Look at these Duluth fans.
Bert and Ernie, they brought him down with them.
Who's this guy in the
This clown? Yeah. I'm not familiar.
I thought maybe he was a more obscure Muppet.
Yeah.
2nd and 11 now for Minnesota Duluth, and Schlafke calls a timeout. Bulldogs will have 1 remaining for Bob Nielsen. Kind of old school with the tie and the shirt on the sidelines. We take a timeout along with the Bulldogs.
I started.
Brought to you by Pontiac. It's the Joel Osborne pass that's intercepted by Cole Strolzik that led to the 3rd touchdown of the day for the UMD Bulldogs. That was your Pontiac game-changing performance. And we'll see if that thing holds up as we go. And, okay, you want to be circled, we'll do you.
There you go.
Close enough.
Bert Blyleven, who's the Twins analyst. The fans at the Metrodome do that, and Bert, so those are Minnesotans like to be circled.
Huh?
Yeah. Oh, Isaac Odom with the football, picks up 4 yards on that carry.
You see the Bearcats trying to tackle the football right now. They understand how critical it is as the clock continues to wind down that they get the ball back to their offense some way, somehow. They've got them now in a critical 3rd down. This is a big one right here if Northwest Missouri has any thoughts of coming back anymore.
3rd and 6. Nothing doing. Great hit by Evan Wilmus on Ted Schlafke right at the line of scrimmage. Northwest Missouri will get the football.
Boy, and Wilmus beat the block of Isaac Odom to the inside, anticipating that play. He just comes in there. Here he is right here. Watch him creep up and then beat the block of Odom right there. Got him inside. No chance for Schlafke to go anywhere. A real heads-up play and a good blitz call by Scott Bostwick, the defensive coordinator.
Alex Miller in for his 6th punt of the afternoon. This one going into the wind. True freshman gets it away. Kendall Wright lets it go out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Let's go throw it over now to Terry Gannon. Terry.
Terry Gannon with you during a busy time in Norman. Hoops game this afternoon, maybe a Heisman winner tonight. The best big man in the Mountain West Conference, Luke Neville, leads Utah against the Sooners, and maybe the best big man in the country, Blake Griffin. That's next. Right now, back to Pam Ward.
Thank you, Terry. That Griffin kid is tremendous. Blake Griffin, you want to hang around and watch that basketball game when we are through. Joel Osborne hoping his team isn't through, completing to his tight end Josh Gannett for a big gain up to the 37-yard line. And one of the officials is hurt on the sidelines.
You hate to see that. Looks like Richard Anderson, the linesman, the intended to over there. And I was about to talk about that play and the elusiveness of Osborne to keep that thing alive, and then finding Gannon open down the field. He made Ben Loth just totally whiff. Loth flying through there, and he had Osborne dead in his sights. Joel shook him up, made a play.
Terry Gannon mentioned that there could be a Heisman Trophy winner there. He is Sam Bradford, possibly from Oklahoma, at 8 Eastern on ESPN. Sam Bradford, Colt McCoy, Tim Tebow, your finalists in the Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Nissan. And the greatest game ever played follows that digitally restored and high-definition color. The great game between the Colts and the Giants. And that should be a lot of fun. That 22-yard play, the longest offensive play of the day for Northwest Missouri. And the official is okay. Actually not okay, on the sidelines being attended to, but the game goes on. Pass completed to Kendall Wright, who's had a hard time holding on to the football today. Hangs on that time, his second catch of the day.
And the first time we've seen that inside screen, and I can see why they've shied away from that. That's where the strength of this Minnesota Duluth defense is, on the inside, as you look at the domination the Bulldogs have had here in the fourth quarter.
Helps when you have that running game. The 1-2 punch of Odom and Foss. Osborne up top, and it's caught. What a catch by Nick Rhodes in traffic all the way down to the 25-yard line. That's a 30-yarder.
And Jim Johnson, the safety, comes up over the top, and he tried to knock the ball away, but Rhodes snagged it out of the air and pulled it away from him.
Rhodes is the guy who saved their season a couple of weeks ago against Pittsburgh State in the playoffs on a 4th and 10. He caught a 27-yard pass. Northwest Missouri State came from behind to win and keep their season alive. Abe Quad tackled down by Tyler Yelk inbounds, and the fans are yelling about that one.
Yeah, I thought that was an out-of-bounds play. He made the catch and got knocked clearly out of bounds, and yet the official wound the clock.
Wright being attended to on the sideline, the wide receiver for the Bearcats. Osborne exclusively through the air, throws it towards the post, incomplete. Raphael Robinson, the intended receiver.
Boy, Robinson should have had that one, and he knows it. Now, he had a hit coming at him, that's for sure. But watch him, he's open in this little seam right there. The ball hits him in the hands, but he smells Yelk coming, and Yelk is coming hard over that middle. But hey, you're going to take the hit anyway. You might as well get your hands on that thing and reel it in, especially when your team needs it so badly.
3rd and 5 after the drop. Osborne to Quad, who goes down at the 11-yard line. Strzelczyk, who has an interception today, makes the stop. That's 5 catches for Abe, and it moves the chains. Abe Quad, only a junior out of St. Louis. Coming back from that horrible fire he was involved in January of '07. Osborne right back to Rhodes. And he is tackled down. They're marking him around the 2-yard line.
This is where they have to hurry up and get a play, and they're wasting a little bit too much time for my likes. You should be able to let your quarterback go ahead and call this play himself and have something prepared in advance for this situation. As it is, they just wasted a good 15 seconds.
2nd and 1 from the 3. Osborne into the end zone, knocked away beautifully by Tyler Yelk, one of the talented safeties for the Bulldogs.
And now the clock stops with the incomplete pass. And it being 3rd and 1 here from the 3, you have to also think about maybe getting that first down. Maybe mix a quarterback draw in here or get your quarterback on the edge. I would even maybe think about running a draw to LaRon Council at this point.
They do have 2 timeouts remaining. Yelk, the all-time leading tackler in the history of Minnesota Duluth football, with a good play on that pass.
They are in a definite run set here.
2 tight ends, pitch it to Council, and LaRon Council has the first down. They are marking him around the 1.5-yard line. Jim Johnson and Robbie Orich with the tackles, and a timeout taken by the Bearcats.
What a great play by Orich, because he got sawed in half. He got chopped down and then popped up and made the tackle.
Please reset the game clock to 1 minute 42 seconds. 1:42.
Here's Orich right here, and watch him come into the hole, and he's going to get chopped down right there. And he pops up, he gets the hands down, pops up, and then hits Council, and then gets some help from his buddy Jim Johnson. That's a big-time play. And I was reading a quote from Robbie Orich, and he made 11 tackles in that game last week, and he said, you know what, I played like a man. He just made that play like a man right there.
Yeah, he was talking about how much fun he had. He's only a sophomore out of Spring Lake, Minnesota, was all-conference second team this year. And John Steger, the defensive coordinator, says, we are an undersized group, but they love to run to the football, and they've shown that.
Yeah, I hate to correct you, man. It's from Michigan, Spring Lake, Michigan.
Oh, I apologize.
No problem. It's just important to me because it's a community that's very near where I live, and I got to go back there.
Yeah, thank you very much. He is from Michigan.
Thank you.
Plays in Minnesota. Osborne into the end zone, touchdown. Right in the back of the end zone, Raphael Robinson, and Northwest Missouri State back into it.
They have to execute this extra point and then execute the onside kick to have a chance. You wonder where this offense has been all day, but I'll tell you, the Bulldogs are playing it a little different. They've backed off their defense, and they're not letting anything be thrown deep over their head, and that opens up the intermediate stuff.
Tommy Freeberg for the extra point. Makes it 21-14. Northwest Missouri State now with 2 straight touchdowns. Osborne, since he came back in for Bowles played 1 drive. Osborne 7 for 11, 84 yards in this score.
And he's just going to work his way right over the middle. You see that cluster of receivers, and he totally gets lost. He had 2 guys covering 1 on the outside, and it didn't take much for Joel Osborne to see that and then get it over the hands. And now Osborne knows, hey, we're in a ball game here. We got us a chance.
Raphael Robinson has just got his 3rd touchdown pass of the season. Osborne with 24 touchdown throws this year in his final year, the senior from Harlan, Iowa. Turnovers have played a major role in this football game.
They really have, and it started out, we've seen this, Kendall Wright had a stretch there where he touched the ball 4 times and fumbled 3 of them. And then the fortuitous bounce on the batted pass, and this one a miscommunication between the quarterback and that was Orich coming up with a big play and knocking the ball out from behind the unsuspecting tight end, Josh Gannon.
Yeah, Kendall Wright with 3 fumbles, and Minnesota Duluth trying to win its first national championship in its first ever title game. Northwest Missouri State trying to avoid the Buffalo Bills, if you will, of losing 4 straight national championship games. They do have 2 titles that came back in the 90s. Onside kick.
I think he got it.
Northwest Missouri State had a great opportunity, but didn't come up with the football. Wow.
Boy, that official just making that call without digging into the pile.
Oconta, you see him pointing the other way, saying the Bearcats have it.
And the Bearcats came up with it.
Luke Shellcamp is being credited with the fumble recovery.
Yeah, but Uramiki's the guy who came up with the ball out on the bottom of the pile. I think they were premature in making that call. There's Shellcamp, he's on it, and Uramiki's on it. And, you know, most of the time you see them, they pull people off the pile and find out who has it at the end.
Uramiki appeared to go in there and pull it out of Schilkamp's arms. Minute 32 left to go. Let's go back to Ryan Burr.
Third and final timeout. It is a 30.
All right, Pam, just a reminder, coming up next, a real treat here on ESPN2. Blake Griffin, one of the best players in the nation, if not the best, taking on Utah. We're on approximately about 4:10. We'll be back after this. Back to you, Pam.
Timeout taken by Northwest Missouri State. They are out of timeouts. That Oklahoma basketball game tipping at 10 minutes after the hour. And since the onside kick was not recovered by Northwest Missouri, good chance that you're not going to miss 1 second of that basketball game. But Mel Churchma, the frustration growing on his sideline. They lose 3 title games by 12 points. And they thought they had that recovery on the onside kick.
And this one will not be without controversy, because that was, I think, a little bit of a hair trigger on the call there in making that decision before you get down to the bottom and see who does have the football.
On second down, Odom with the carry stays in bounds very wisely to keep the clock going. Willie Horn coming up with another tackle for Northwest Missouri State. But Bob Nielsen, who is the athletic director, retired as a football coach. At least he thought he did about 3 years ago, and came back to take over a team that was 4-6 last year. And they, if they hold on to win, will finish the season 15-0, undefeated national champions. The biggest turnaround in the history of Division II football, and they got the cold stuff ready to go. These Minnesota guys, that probably won't faze them one bit, right? The ice water?
The ice water, that's kind of what they're used to up there.
Minnesota Duluth takes its final timeout. 45 seconds left to go in the game on 3rd and 14. They want to come up with a solid play call. Great turnaround for Minnesota Duluth. Again, 4-6. And they are +8, possibly going to +9 on the year. Montana State had a better turnaround, but that was in what was then Division I AA. So this is the best Division II turnaround ever. What a story.
Yeah, and an amazing job by Coach Nielsen and what he did coming in, taking over a 4-6 football team. And he said, you know, they had some injuries last year. He didn't feel 4-6 was indicative of the talent that they had. And he thought they could be good. And the thing he likes about his team is they got better every week, and they're playing their best football right here at the end of the year. And in fact, he said last week was about a perfect of a game as he's been around. And they continued that here this afternoon, and they played extremely good football, solid football, in particular on defense.
Last week they won at California, Pennsylvania, 45-7. Very snowy conditions, which does not faze them. 3rd and 14. Schlafke hangs on to it, reverses field, and then goes down. Took quite a lick.
Yeah, it's over. They don't have to snap it.
And they're feeling it now on the sideline. Bob Nielsen, the athletic director and now head coach again, taking this Bulldog team to the national championship in its first finals performance.
There's the bat.
Ted Schlafke, the quarterback's been starting since he was a freshman. Before the season, Schlafke wrote on his goal card to go 15-0. That was his goal. 15-0, undefeated national champions, and his dream came true this afternoon.
And the thing about a dream, Pam, is you got to do more than dream it. You got to do it. You got to work it. And you got to put in the extra time. And you have to lead. And you have to sweat and bleed. And they've done all those things. And congratulations. Hat goes off to Bob Nielsen and his Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs for coming out of nowhere, basically, and winning the national championship. And then your heart goes out to Mel Churchma and his Bearcats, who fought their guts out for the 4th straight year, and they lose this one again by a slim margin of just 7 points.
Their 13-game winning streak ends. They have now lost 4 straight national championship games. 4 turnovers, gave up 6 sacks today. Averaged 42 points per game, a season low today, 14 for them. But congratulations to the Bulldogs. Their tenacious defense and then the great offense led by Ted Schlafke wins it 21-14. They are the national champions in Division II. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Ray Bentley and our entire crew, I'm Pam Ward, as we say so long from Florence, Alabama, the Bulldogs of Minnesota Duluth sitting on top of the Division II football world. Let's go to Ryan Burr in the studio.